Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here. It is Tuesday the 3rd of March at 10 to 4 PM and welcome to this unboxing video, or videos depending how I release these. I could easily split these up. So this is going to be quite a big unboxing video, or maybe, as I've got 4 to unbox. The one underneath, the bottom one, is the first that arrived last week, and I know exactly what it is. The middle two, that came on Monday, the 23rd of February. The middle two arrived on Saturday, the 28th of February. And I have a rough guess of them, at the very least one of them. The other one, I think I know what it is as well, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll get to it when we get there. And then the last one on top came on Sunday, the 1st of March. So it was actually because of the middle two parcels that I haven't done the unboxing for the bottom one yet. I've been saving them for about a week or so to do this major unboxing together at the same time. So we'll get started momentarily with the bottom box, which I have an idea of. I know exactly what that one is going to be. I also kind of have an idea of what the kind of letter parcel one will be, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So, starting off with the first parcel, and as you may be able to see up at the top, I have actually written what it is, or what I think it is at the very least, and that is the TWB Steelbook, or Steel BK, as in the War Between the Land and the Sea Steelbook. So let's get round to opening this. Also, before we start, I also got the standard edition Blu-ray from the Fopp store in London, Shaftsbury Avenue, along with a Blu-ray of Predator Badlands. I've got a couple of stuff on Saturday from Forbidden Planet and Fopp. Oh, well, two things from Fopp. I'll do a showcase later, perhaps at the end of the video. But I've got the standard edition. I've already opened them, but I can open up and show what the standard edition is compared to the Steelbook. But the Steelbook is the one more excited to get, and then the standard one was to be in the part of the main collection, and then the Steelbook for the Steelbook collection. Full disclosure, the TV movie Steelbook is due for release on May 25th, so I've actually put that down on my birthday list rather than pre-order it already. Hopefully it will stay in stock until then, at the very least, or they'll get stock for the release on the 25th of May. Further disclosure, my birthday is actually before the 25th of May, so it's more of a late birthday present. But hey, if I can get the TV movie 4K Steelbook upon release, or maybe even slightly earlier if it comes early. This came on release day. Sometimes they come a little earlier, maybe over the weekend or on the Thursday or Friday. So and my birthday is actually a Thursday, so if I can actually get the Steelbook ahead of release date, even if it's not on the birthday or before birthday, but if it's like the day itself or just afterwards or over the weekend, then that would be fantastic, when it gets pre-ordered. But it is number 1 on the birthday list. Number 2 is actually the Hurricane Room book by Kim Sherwood, which is a James Bond spin-off novel, part of the 00 series. That does come just before birthday, so that will hopefully arrive. But anyway, that's for another time. Let us open the War Between Steelbook. And if it's not the War Between Steelbook, then one, I'll be cross because I should have had it by now, and because it came out last Monday. And 2, I don't know what it would have been instead. Here we go. Yep, it is the War Between the Land and the Sea Steelbook. I'm just gonna chuck the cardboard over there. So to bring it up to the camera, that's what it looks like without the plastic coming off. We can see the Homer Aqua, or Sea Devil, just there in the artwork. And then there's the back with some artwork with Salt and Barkley by the looks of it, which looks really great. The standard one just uses the promo picture for the series, and it's the same on the inside as well. And the backs also use the same with some pictures from the series itself. I'll probably do more of the readings of the stuff on the back here on the Steelbook, but suffice to say the pictures for the standard edition, the fronts are pretty cool for a standard release, using the poster artwork and so forth. So there's the spine as well, and yeah. Okay, so let's open the set and ruin the collector's value forever, as Mr. TARDIS would say. It's not the most flashy of Steelbook pictures, but it is quite shiny. So the artwork gives it a bit of a shine. It's sort of more of a silver, greeny blue colour effect as opposed to the darker blue that you would expect from the sea, or the greeny blue perhaps, as compared to, say, the one on the blue on the main poster, which does show the darker blue that represents the sea. This one's going for a kind of a greeny blue, but also making it more silver with at least on the Steelbook itself. So it's going for that. It's taking advantage of the steel in Steelbook, and same on the opposite side, which does show off more of the blue that is represented on the slip card, or J card, as it's apparently called. 2-disc set rated 12 in the UK. I haven't seen the inside yet, so going inside, I do know what the discs look like, and I do know what the booklet is like, but the inside itself was what I was not sure. Although, well, maybe I saw some pictures, but I can't quite remember. So that's the inside with the discs. So we do have one disc on either side, as opposed it's to a flap or on top of the other, or even one there at the top. Sometimes they do that on a 3-disc set. And this is the Doctor Who listing products. I'll go through that quickly because it's the same on the inside of the standard edition, same for the discs. So this time round, it's Unit getting represented on the Big Finish page, which is usually the first one on the inside. This time, sharing adventures featuring Unit, including one of the Once and Future stories. Not all of these stories are available on CD, some of them are download only. The second side features the 15th Doctor Volume 1 comic book collection, and are coming soon for Volume 2. Volume 1 collects the 15th Doctor issues 1 to 4, and then the second one will collect the second series of stories, which is still ongoing. So this collection is coming out, it said June on Amazon. And then we got some more stories, some more collections down at the bottom. Fugitive Doctor Origins, the 3rd Doctor one, the 4th Doctor one, Thundel Victorious, the 13th Doctor, with 10, A Tale of Two Time Lords, I believe, the first one. That one's a 10th Doctor bonus, Once Upon a Time Lord, and then Empire of the Wolf. Thank God they fixed the repetitive problem that it's usually Origins, but sometimes it was something else, where they would repeat one cover of the same release twice. So you'd have, say, Origins twice on here instead of having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got 7 other, plus the 2 15th Doctor ones. You've got 7 down the bottom. You've got 7 down at the bottom. Sometimes Origins or another story would, another release would get, it would appear twice. Thank goodness they fixed that, because that was annoying. That was absolutely, especially, and also as great as Origins probably is. I haven't read that one yet, but as great as some of these are, you only need to list them once. Apart from maybe Once Upon a Time Lord, where you could list the alternative cover with the red cover with the Doctor and Martha on that. But apart from that, or if you were doing the individual releases, as I said, 15th Doctor is 1 to 4, and then 5 to 8 for the second volume. Other than maybe showing some of those covers, some variants of that, other than those, just show a cover of a selection of releases. And thank goodness that's what we got for this time round. Thank you, Titan and or BBC, whoever did this page. Thank you for fixing that problem. Now, don't do it again. Please and thank you. Page 3 has, or I suppose it's page 4 technically, is Lost in Time, this time updated to include characters from the War Between, although old Sea Devil rather than the new ones. But like how Season 2's one had Season 2 characters on that page, there in the Season 2 box sets release and its Steelbook. This time it's got War Between related characters included. Page 5 has the audio books of stories that take place at sea and or feature Sea Devils and or Silurians. So Doctor and the Cave Monsters is the audiobook novelisation for of Doctor Who and the Cave Monsters, which is a novelisation of the Silurians, the first story, Doctor Who and the Silurians. Sea Devils and Warriors of the Deep, the Sea Devils' first appearance, and then the story featuring both Silurians and Sea Devils, which we saw at the BFI on Saturday. New special edition version included on the Season 21 box set coming soon. The other two stories included are two Patrick Troughton stories that are set underwater or at sea, or partially at sea, and the oil rig and a gas refinery. Actually, I think the rig's for the gas. Well, it's to do with the gas refinery, but oh well. You got the Underwater Menace and Fury from the Deep also on here as well, because there are stories from the land and the sea. Which, in the case of the Underwater Menace and Fury from the Deep, yep, that's definitely to do with the sea. As is Warriors of the Deep, and parts of the Sea Devils. Parts of land for cave monsters is land, and parts of land for Sea Devils and Fury. Not so much for Underwater Menace, but a little bit of that. But Warriors of the Deep is entirely underwater, apart from the few scenes of the TARDIS and Sentinel-6 in space. And then we've got the 15th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver, Standard Edition, and this page here is Art of Time Travel book, which looks great. So that's an art book. Dalek Awakens Escape Room, Doctor Who the Official Quiz Book by Beth Axford. There's several Doctor Who quiz books. This one is the current, most recent one by Beth Axford. I think she did one released around the 13th Doctor time that I do have, that got that as a birthday present, I think birthday before last. And that's a hardback, so I'm not sure if this is maybe an updated one to include 15 or not. Or maybe she's done a second one. I wouldn't be surprised if it's an updated version of Beth's one to include 15. And then last couple of pages, we've got Doctor Who Magazine, a couple of issues from last year, and Unit vs. Monsters, Titan and Forbidden Planet merchandise. The pin badges, those pin badges there are mostly 3rd and 4th Doctor monsters, and then the shirts are Unit and Silurian Sea Devil based. And then back is similar, same as the front, minus the more exciting products thing. So yeah, that's probably the least interesting part of the Steelbook, but I wanted to go for it because it's the same as in the standard one. Just also to clarify, same with in the standard one, there is no slip piece of paper to say which episodes are on which discs, even though it does say them on the disc, but it's nice to have the piece of paper, or the special features included, or any little write-ups or anything. You know, no little piece of paper, no little booklets or anything. It's just the episodes listed on the discs and stuff written on the back, which I'll get back to later. But otherwise, and also the products booklet, but no slip, little like 2-page insert or mini booklet to talk about it any further, which is a shame. Also, slightly disappointing that the art pieces. I mean, you do have the cool half and half on there, but it is a shame that they didn't include Barclay and or Salt on either picture. Not even like the other main photo, which was them touching the sides of the split. They did a similar one for the Sea Devils edit with the 3rd Doctor and the old Sea Devil, but. Yeah, it's a shame they couldn't include that there, nor just have maybe one picture of Barclay on disc 1 and Salt on disc 2, or vice versa. Or Barclay Salt one on disc 1 and the 3rd Doctor Sea Devil one I mentioned on disc 2. That would have been really cool. It's just I mean, you get a good clean picture of the background without the characters, but it would have been nice to have them included. Maybe if you included an insert or booklet, you could have that artwork included. Okay, so I'm going to remove the discs now, and here we go. So the inside of here is in fact more or less the main picture from the standard edition Blu-ray. Maybe a little bit of a wider gap between the characters and the gap in the middle, and also more shiny. It looks really good inside the Steelbook. It's on printed on steel, and then with the plastic holders over it. It looks really great. Really nice and shiny. Excellent. Very nice. And I think this is the only one of the Bad Wolf era that features the cover from the standard release, standard Blu-ray and the DVD release inside, because I think they used other pictures for the other 3 releases for the 60th specials and seasons 1 and 2. And I think maybe also for the 2 in colours, which count as Bad Wolf era releases. But this one has the inside of the standard cover, which is great. So yeah, also episodes 1 to 3 and some bonus features included on disc 1, and episodes 4 and 5, the Sea Devils 2025 edition, and some other bonus features included on disc 2, but without the little slip piece of slippy paper or a more precise list on the back. We don't know exactly what special features are included. Apparently quite a few of them, including the making of documentary, have already been released on YouTube ahead of the DVD and Blu-ray release. So, okay, interesting choice. I would have thought you would have waited till after that it had come out on DVD and Blu-ray before you released it on YouTube, because then people who weren't able to get the physical copies of the series on Blu-ray or DVD could then watch them on YouTube, but they put them on earlier. Plus, Disney Plus haven't released The War Between yet. Yeah, Disney still haven't released The War Between the Land and the Sea internationally, and we in the UK have already got the DVD and Blu-ray releases, and bonus features are being uploaded to YouTube ahead of that. So, you know, people who live internationally, who, unless they've been using a VPN to watch it on iPlayer, they could easily just import this and watch it on DVD or Blu-ray ahead of Disney Plus getting it streamed. I wouldn't be surprised if those numbers did get affected, because people would be either using a VPN to watch the series on iPlayer, like with like some of reactions, like with Alex Patterson from Doctor Who Guide, for example, have done already, and or they'll import the DVD or Blu-ray or Steelbook, or one or both or two or all 3 of the above, and watch it on those discs. And I also wouldn't be surprised if people just either didn't know about it or forgot about it because they're just holding off so long. I hope for the international viewers who are going to watch on Disney Plus, or they'll watch on Disney Plus even if they get the UK really home media releases, or watched it on iPlayer through a VPN, etc., or even came over to the UK to watch it specifically. I wouldn't be surprised if they rewatched it anyway, but I wouldn't be surprised if the numbers were harmed for whether because the audiences have already gone and seen it elsewhere, or because people don't really know about its release or are less interested in it. But yeah, that's the Steelbook. It's a great Steelbook, aside from and this is the same problem with the standard release, apart from the lack of the little slip piece of paper about what's on each disc, listing the episodes and maybe a little bit about them and what extras are included on each disc. So yeah, which is a shame. Also, like I said, that the disc art, whilst great having clean pictures of the background of the artwork, it would have been nice to do maybe having some of the characters on there as well. Especially, they were almost identical if it wasn't for the stuff written on them. Which I'll show again in the standard copy as well. So I think either Barclay on one disc, Salt on the other disc, or disc 1 has Barclay, Salt, and disc 2, the Third Doctor and the Sea Devil, or even just Barclay and Salt on both discs, even though it would look identical again. It at least shows one that's staying in with what they've done in the last nearly 10 years at this point, and 2, it would look a little, there's more going on. Oh well, or maybe even just one disc is just the land colour background, and the other disc is the water one. That at least would maybe give it a bit more of a difference between them outside of what's written on the discs. Okay, so let's have a look at what's written on the back, and it's also what's written on the back of the standard release. So I'll bring this up to you whilst I read from the back of the standard. So sorry for any jagging movements because I will not be looking at the camera. Barclay's ordinary life becomes a world of terror when an ancient species rises from the sea and wreaks havoc upon all mankind. As Kate Lethbridge Stewart and UNIT struggle to maintain peace, heroes are forged, enemies are revealed, and lives are lost. With the entire planet pitted against him, Can Barclay save the world? Short answer is no, actually. He tries his best, but spoilers for the series, but the human enemies win. And yeah. I won't talk too much about the series itself here now, because I have been meaning to review the series. I've been meaning to rewatch it and review it, so I'll have to get round to doing that sometime soon. Now I've got the Steelbook, I can show that off in the videos at least. Much like my other Bad Wolf season ranking videos, although, yeah, no, I can just show this off in the ranking. Includes over 3 hours of additional material, including the Sea Devils 2025 edition, which is 90 minutes, so that's at least half of what's included of special features. An interview with the writers, deep dive documentary, plus audio commentaries on episodes 1 and 3, extended and deleted scenes, character dossiers, set tours, video diaries, and more behind the scenes content. I think that documentary might be half an hour, I could be wrong. So, like, maybe there's like an hour or something of the other extras, plus the commentaries, which themselves are, those would be on the episode, so that wouldn't be included in the over 3 hours of additional material. Those would be the other stuff. And there we go, that's the two back to back. Starring Russell Tovey, Guga Mbatha Raw, I probably butchered that, sorry, and Gemma Redgrave. Not listing anybody else, not other main characters, but I suppose those are the main three of the series. Created by Russell T Davies, written by Russell T Davies and Pete Mattei, executive producers Joel Collins, Pete Mattei, Russell T Davies, Julie Gardner, and Jane Tranter. Was Phil Collins not an executive on this series? Okay. Also, no directed by Dylan Holmes Williams credit, which they could easier put it next to by the writers, nor any producer credits. Which is a shame. Anyway, and then I'll just show the standard Blu-ray quickly that I bought from Fopp. That's the front of the inside, there's the spine, and there's the back again, pretty much the same. A little bit smaller than on the slipcase, of course, because the slipcase has a bit more room. Also, I like how on the spine it wraps around the well, actually, it doesn't wrap around much of Barclay on the spines. Maybe a little bit of the inside one. But on the other spine, it does wrap around more salt, which is a really cool bit of information. That's not the side that you're going to see on the shelves traditionally. It's usually this side round. But that's a nice little addition. Is it salt wraps around more of the spine there, as opposed to Barclay only wraps a little bit round on this side. Maybe a tad bit more on here, but not by much. Anyway, opening it up, here's the more exciting products from Doctor Who leaflet. Inside does not have pictures, no inside pictures. More alternate sided cover. Disc 1 episodes 1 and 3 bonus features, and Disc 2 episodes 4 and 5 Sea Devils 2025 edition bonus features. And yeah, nothing on the other side. Would have been nice again to have that artwork of them placing their hands against the split as the on the inside, a sort of a wider version of that, much like how the inside of this steelbook is a wider version of this. Or even maybe just some stills from the episodes or something. Anyway, so that's the first unboxing, and I've just closed that without putting in the booklet. I'm probably going to move the booklet on the other one into the to be behind the J card like I do with all of them. And I suppose we could always print off our own slips, or write our own little slips of what's included in the release. But it's a shame they don't come with them anyway. Anyway, so that's these steelbooks, and so thank you for watching, because this is it's going to be a fairly long first part, 25 minutes or so, maybe longer with the introduction. But yeah, before we go, I'll quickly show the Predator Badlands Blu-ray as well that I got. I did consider getting the steelbook, but otherwise. So you've got the front of the slipcase, there's the spine. I like the addition of the Weyland-Yutani logo on the spine, which are not initially from the Predator universe, but after the crossover with Alien, they are now in the shared universe. So that company which originated in Alien is now in the Predator movies, as of this film at the very least. There's the other spine and the back. I'll read the back in a bit. Predator Badlands individual case. This is one of the really slim cases that Disney have been doing, because Fox is owned by Disney now. Disney and Warner Brothers have been doing. Disney's ones seem to be a darker blue than Warner's, and there's the disc inside, which is pretty interesting. Rated 12 in the UK, by the way. This is the first film in the Predator or Alien universes to receive a 12 age rating, as opposed to the usual 15 or the previous 18 ratings that they used to get. They like the first 4 Alien films and the first 2 Predator films started off as 18s. I think the first film from the Alien series has been lowered to 15, maybe the first Predator one as well. And then AVP onwards, they've all been 15, except for this, which is a 12. Which is interesting. I think the reason is because there's no actual human characters. It's either robots or aliens who get killed. And there's no red blood, so I think it gets away with 12. With moderate violence, threat, injury, detail. To be honest, I think I would say strong violence, but again, not on humans. So, anyway, from the director of Prey, which I haven't seen yet, but I do have the Steelbook of. So I can watch that when I can, and it's also been on telly since, so it's not just streaming exclusive now. Anyway, this thrilling chapter in the heart-stopping Predator franchise is set in the future on a remote planet. A young Predator, I'm going to butcher this name as well, aren't I? Demetrius Sanchez Konomanji, outcast from his clan and finds an unlikely ally in Fear, Elle Fanning, and embarks on a treacherous journey in search of the ultimate adversary. Elle Fanning also plays the... because Fear is a robot, a droid, one of the alien droids. She also plays that droid's twin in the film as well, who's actually if you want to say there's a central villain, it's technically her, as well as also the main Predator's dad character at the start and the end, but I won't go too much into details about that so that you guys can watch the film itself. And then there's a list of special features, which includes embodying the Predator, meet the artists that bring one of the most terrifying creatures to life on screen. Authentic synthetics, join Elle Fanning as she describes crafting her 2 characters, building the Badlands and cover how real locations were transformed into a threatening landscape. Deck of the Ujatsa, that's the character and species names respectively. See the development of the Ujatsa's homeworld, spacecraft, and finally dynamics. Audio commentary by Dan Tichenberg, producer Ben Rosenblatt, director of photography Jeff Cutler, and stunt coordinator Jacob Tamari. Deleted and pre-visualization scenes with audio commentary by the director and filmmakers. Just to say, I think this might be the first film to touch upon the Predator species more in depth. I'm not so sure about Prey, and I don't know about the animated film that they released in between. I think that might be streaming exclusive, I could be wrong. Maybe a little bit in AVP when they were apparently the ones who created the aliens, but that law got changed in Prometheus for the alien world, and I haven't seen either Prey nor Predators, the 2010 film, the third one, outside of after or fifth if you count AVP 1 and 2. So I've only seen the first 2 and The Predator from 2018 and this plus AVP 1 and 2. And I'm yet to watch Predators and Prey. So I'm not sure if any of those other films, outside of maybe the lore with the aliens in AVP 1, I'm not sure how much of that was there. Maybe comics and expanded media have expanded on the world. But I think this is probably the film, at least of the ones I've seen, that expands on the lore the most. as far as I'm aware. But Expanded Media may have done that more so, and maybe it's taking its cues from there, etc. But it was a great film, so yeah, that's really cool. So I'm going to sign off from this part of the unboxing, and we're going to go on to part 2, where we're going to unbox the next box. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne YouTube channel.